Hello and welcome back to the Three-Handed Bandits channel. It's Nathan and Aiden back with another video for you today. And today we're going to be breaking down and getting our hands dirty with all of our Week 10 picks. It's a very interesting week of football. I know personally we both have a lot of the favorites that we're rocking with. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see what we end up going with. Aiden, what are you feeling about this week?
Like you said, a lot of favorites. There might be a couple upsets. One of those things where this week is, it's starting to get to the point to where teams are starting to show out and be who they are of the year. Basically, their identity is now excluding injuries because some teams have just lost big pieces. So, but still, I think that Vegas is mostly right when it comes to who they have winning these games. They're the ones making money, not us.
Exactly. Before we get into it, we will have kind of markers for each game down below, so you can skip ahead and bounce to whatever game you want to hear our thoughts on. And we'll just go ahead and get straight into it. We're going to be starting off over in the Deutschland, over in Germany, in the Frankfurt game, where we got the Colts taking on the Patriots. It is a home game for the Patriots, but, both these teams will be playing overseas. I'll just kick it off straight to you. What are you feeling about this game?
I will not lie to you. I remember seeing a tweet, basically someone saying that Bill Belichick will not last the season. I think that might be right, looking more into this. But at the same time, the idea of seeing the Patriots at 2-8 is unnerving. I'm gonna go with the Colts because I'm liking them. I'm liking what they're doing. Gardner Minshew's doing a pretty good job, and their offense is starting to settle, especially with Jonathan Taylor coming back. They're starting to really pick up steam. And then getting 2 pick sixes last week with Kenny Moore, it making me even like him anymore. But I think I'm with the Colts. I have a 26-17 win, them covering. I think it's just kind of funny, one, that the Patriots are home. Patriots, talking about America, but they're in Germany. I thought that was a funny little tidbit that they did. But still, I don't like the idea of the Patriots being 2-8 for the first time in however long. But still, it's going to happen the way this game's looking out.
Yeah, for me, is definitely a game where I'm kind of back and forth on. I think the Colts have been playing well. I think Shane Steichen's doing a great job, and obviously with the 4-5 record, he's not going to be in the Coach of the Year conversations. But I do genuinely already believe he's one of the top 10 head coaches in the NFL. I'm really impressed by the job that he's doing here. And then injury-wise, they're getting Zaire Franklin back, or seems like they will be getting him back. So that's going to help this defense, which has really kind of cleaned some things up, especially last week. However, I can't shake this feeling that I think just the Patriots are just a little bit better than their record indicates. They've had a lot of tough games to play this year, and while I do think the Colts are a good team, I think the Colts are ultimately just a frisky team, and unfortunately not more than that. And so I'm going to go for the Patriots to win this as a home upset in Germany. I'm going to go 23-20. I do think Vegas is onto something with having this being a shorter or smaller line. I do think it's going to be a fairly even game. But yeah, I'm going to go for the Patriots to just do enough offensively, kind of figure some things out, and find a way to kind of squeak one out. But they're so injury ridden. They have 40 people, it seems like, are questionable. So, if the Colts really took advantage and pounced on this game, I would not be surprised. But I just gut call, I'm trusting Bill Belichick. And then next up, we got the Houston Texans traveling to Cincinnati to go against the Bengals. The Bengals are 6.5-point favorites, and to me, I have them covering that honestly pretty convincingly. They will be without T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase is still questionable. But the Bengals defense is heating up. I think people are just a little bit lower on the Bengals because they had such a bad start. But I don't think they realized how important that injury was to Joe Burrow. But I think he's fully healthy. He's playing like an elite quarterback. This team is firing on all cylinders. This defense is playing really, really well when they started off pretty bad. And I just don't know if the Texans are going to be able to replicate a 40-point game, especially with Nico Collins being out. So I'm going for the Bengals to win this. I might go with a score of 27-7. I do think it's low-key going to be a pretty convincing game for the Bengals where they just shut down C.J. Stroud and this Texans offense.
I completely agree with the Bengals winning, but the one thing that I saw with the Texans that the Bengals struggle the most with is the big play. And I saw like basically on their defensive wise, their safeties, they're good. I like them, but this is their first year in Cincy. Both of them are. Battle is every now and then the nickel going to the safety. It's who they choose to be out there, but so many big plays happen against them, and the Texans are known for their just huge plays. So even without Nico Collins, I think Tank Dell could do some damage to this team. I'm not having the Texans winning by all means, but I do think the 6.5 line is a little scary. I don't really know. I'm staying with my Bengals. I will always stay with the Bengals, but I have a 32-28 score. I think I have a little more faith in the Texans offense, but even without T. Higgins, I think the Bengals can absolutely dominate.
Yeah, no, I've been impressed by C.J. Stroud. I will say though, whoever Dameon Pierce is questionable, and so he may not play. If he's definitely out, whatever the line is for Devin Singletary, take the under on rushing yards. That is free money because the Texans' run game is horrible and the Bengals have good run defense. So for all those bettors out there, Devin Singletary, I don't care if his under over is at 30. Take the under. He's just not very good. And the next up, we're going to head over to Minnesota, where we have Derek Carr and your New Orleans Saints traveling to go against Joshua Dobbs and the Vikings. That is a weird sentence. Think about last year if you've heard that sentence, how weird that would be. But yeah, Saints, Vikings at home, both have a 5-4 record. What are you feeling about this game?
I will always go with my gut, and my gut always says the Saints. But there's something brewing. Like after that last game with Joshua Dobbs, it's like in the back of my mind, I wouldn't be surprised if they came out with the win for the Vikings. But I do like the Saints always. I can't deny them. I have a 28-18 score. I don't like to keep it close, but like I said, I don't know. This is eerie feeling that the Vikings basically just bounce back. Now they have this guy who's had basically a full week to learn everyone's names to possibly heat up. But like I said, I cannot deny the Saints. They're my team. Give me them.
Yeah, so I honestly, for me, it's weird. I don't fully know how I expect this game to go just because, well, Joshua Dobbs did have a good game against Atlanta Falcons. To me, it's just like if you look at his last couple of weeks and most of his other starts, he's just not that good of a quarterback. And so I do think he might be exposed against a Saints defense that's solid. Like, it's not elite, but any given week, it could be anywhere from like the 8th to 14th defense, so it's a solid defense. And, with no Justin Jefferson, Hawkinson's banged up. Like, I do think this Vikings offense might struggle a little bit. And the Saints have liked the big play against a defense that's going to like to blitz. There's going to be the opportunity to kind of make some big plays. So I'm going to go for the Saints to win this. I don't think it's going to be the highest scoring game, but I think 24-16 sounds right to me. I do think the Saints are the better team. I don't fully believe in Joshua Dobbs. I do really think Kevin O'Connell has been a solid head coach. And so if he was able to get this offense working with Joshua Dobbs, that wouldn't fully surprise me. But I'm still going with the Saints to win this on the road as the favorite. And the next up, we got the Green Bay Packers going against the Pittsburgh Steelers, which we might have one of the worst coaching battles of all time with the Matt Canada-led offense versus the Joe Barry-led defense. What are you expecting from this game?
Crap.
Yep.
Plain and simple. I don't know. When looking at these teams, the Steelers, obviously they have a winning record, but like they're not playing like it, in my opinion. And the Packers, they are not looking like I thought they would at all at the beginning of the season. So I have the Steelers. I actually have the Packers covering, but more just the score is so low that it almost has to cover. Like I have an 18-16 score, and that's generous in my opinion. It really just depends on if the Steelers go, you know what, we don't want to listen to Matt Canada and start doing their own stuff. They might actually explode. Who knows? Deontay Johnson got his first touchdown. Good for him. But I don't want to say that I don't see very many coming up for him with Matt Canada leading this offense. But we will see. I mean, I like the Steelers. The Packers have been nothing but a disaster on all fronts. So we will see. I won't be watching this game, though, but I'll love to see the score at the end.
Yeah, I have a weird gut feeling about the Packers. So I don't know if I want to pick them. It's just so weird because obviously the Matt Canada offense is not very good. I think the most points they've scored in a game this year was 26, and that was with 2 defensive touchdowns against the Browns. Like they're scoring 17, 20, 14, 10. Like they're just not a good offense. And then you add, just a defense that, is capable of really stealing games. Like it's going to be interesting to see. But then on the Packers front, there's times where Jordan Love has looked really bad, but then there's times he's looked good and the wide receivers left him down. The offensive line's been kind of a mess ever since Bakhtiari went down. And this defense has a lot of talent for the Packers, but it's been underwhelming, and that's due to bad coaching. So what do I see going to happen?
Something's going to break, and you just don't know what.
I have a weird gut feeling about the Packers going to win this one. In Pittsburgh's a hard matchup, so when the Pittsburgh Steelers end up winning this game convincingly, I'm going to look like an idiot. But I'm going to go for the Packers to win. 20-17 is going to be the score. I agree. I would be surprised if this was a high-scoring game. Either of these teams scored 30. I will shave my head, knocking on wood for that. But it's going to be a low-scoring game. 2 mediocre offenses. It's just, I think Jordan Love might just find a way to squeak out a win against a Pittsburgh team that somehow would be 6-3 if they won, which is absolutely insane to me. But yeah, I'm going to go Green Bay to win this game on the road in Pittsburgh. And the next up, the Tennessee Titans versus the Buccaneers. These have been 2 of my babies, 2 of my teams that I've been higher on. And it's weird. I feel like both these teams are better than their record indicates, but they just have some sort of sloppiness going on. So what's going to happen? Out of these 2 babies, the Titans are more of my baby. And so I'm actually going to go for the Titans to win this one on the road too. God, I'm picking a lot of road teams.
I'm going to say you're also picking a lot of underdogs. So what happened to us picking the favorites? I don't know.
Gut feeling. I'm going for the Titans. Will Levis has been named the starter, even though Ryan Tannehill is questionable. I think Will Levis deserves it. I think he's played pretty well as a rookie. And against the Buccaneers defense, banged up in the secondary defense that I think started off the year strong, but is just losing enough pieces where they're starting to kind of be exploited. I think Tennessee will be able to do enough to win this game. I'm going to go for a score of 24-23. I think it's going to be a close game. I think these teams might put up a little bit more points than some people expect, but the Buccaneers are not that bad for a team that's lost 5 weeks in a row. I think they've been close. They've been in every game. I don't think Baker Mayfield's the problem. I think he's played well. Even last week against the Texans, they put up 37 points and they allowed 40.
Yeah. Well, they the last drive is what killed them. I mean,
Yeah.
if they in their minds they won the game with less than a minute left. It was just not a stroke of luck. It was a stroke of skill from CJ Stroud to beat them in that last minute, and they thought they had the win and they gave up on that. But yes.
But so yeah, I don't think Baker's the problem. I think both these quarterbacks are going to have honestly pretty decent games. But I'm going to go with the Titans, I think. But honestly, I could see this going either way. But as I said, I do think both these teams really are much better than their record indicates. They kind of just need to figure it out.
So with this game, I'm the complete same way. I could flip a coin and the outcome, I could give it to you. But I don't know what's telling me to go with the Bucs. I'm just going to keep with it. I'm keeping it a close game as well. At 21-20, very similar score to yours. But in my mind, the reason that they're putting Will Levis out there, I think they're basically lost all hope in Ryan Tannehill, and
Agreed.
not in the not like he's washed. I mean, he is, but I'm talking about the idea of they're basically going to start this mini little rebuild into next season. They're going to use the rest of this to build Will Levis up, possibly get some drafts, some good draft picks, and maybe even a nice little pickup. Who knows what they can do with them? But I think this is more of a stepping stone, and I can see them winning, no problem. But the Bucs, to me, seem like they're more put together. The Titans have been so up and down. It's hard to say, but it's also hard to say for the Bucs then to lose 6 weeks in a row for how close they've been. Like I said, coin flip game. I'm just going with the Bucs because one, for how good of the team this is, it's hard to be losing 6 weeks in a row for how close it's been. And the Titans have been so up and down. You don't know what kind of team you're going to get. So give me the Bucs at a 21-20 game.
So I don't know if it's because I haven't eaten today, but my gut is starting to rumble. And I'm actually going to switch my pick back to the Buccaneers. I'm going to go 23-21 will be the score. I don't know. Sorry, it's a weird gut feeling. Trust in the gut. Trust in the gut. Next, we have the 49ers heading down to Duval to go against the Jaguars. Jaguars are 6-2. I don't know. I feel like they quite seem like they're that high of a record. I think the Jaguars are a good team, though. Trevor Lawrence, I think, has been pretty good this year. He still has a little bit of inconsistency, so I don't think he's an elite quarterback, but he's definitely, I think, right behind like a Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. Like he's in that kind of tier 2 range of quarterbacks. But, the 49ers were on a bit of a tail slide, and they got the bye week, and I do not think Kyle Shanahan is going to let this team come out of the bye week and drop another one. So I think the 49ers are going to kind of get back to figuring some stuff out, especially against the Jaguars defense, which is just not that good. Like it's okay, I guess. It's not a liability, but it's not that great of a defense. And so I'm going to go for a score of 30-22. I do think that this is going to be a pretty decent game. And I honestly could see it be even closer, but I think Trevor Lawrence is due for like a kind of crappy game. And I think the 49ers are really going to explode this week. Like I don't think they're going to drop another one. I think they might be getting Deebo Samuel back. Just want to double check, but that's really going to help this offense because they really started.
Deebo Samuels are projected to come back.
Yeah, so that's really going to help this offense. That's part of the reason why they did happen to lose 3 in a row is because they lost both of those pieces. And so, yeah, I'm going for the Niners to win this one, get back to rolling like we saw for the first month of the season.
Before I give my pick, I just want to. I wish we could just clip the ability of you saying Trevor Lawrence possibly having a bad game, and every time you've said that, he's had a decent or better game. That in my mind, just like I have this game as a high scoring game. I do have the 49ers winning this, no doubt, but I have it at 31-31 because 49ers, I can just see it them coming back and winning this. They'll be down at the end and they come back and win this, or who knows, the Jags could have some late wind. But I like games to be interesting. I want it to be a close game, but the 49ers obviously come up top because they can't lose 4 weeks in a row, man. How good this team is, or how just how steamrolling they were at the beginning of the year. It's hard to see them to just keep losing like this. I think Brock Purdy snaps back to his old self, or like how he was playing the first couple weeks. He's playing more in the system, but I think he'll make better plays, better decisions. So give me the 49ers in a close game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun game to watch, but I still, as you said, I think we're both rocking with the Niners. The next up, we got the Cleveland Browns heading to Baltimore to go against the Ravens. This is also a strange game, just because the Browns have been such a weird team. Deshaun Watson was out, and then their offense, like low-key, kind of looked better, but then he was back, and they put 40 points up a couple weeks ago with what's his face, PJ Walker. So definitely strange looking team. What do you expect out of this game?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Right when you said that, I'm changing my mind on the score. At least I was thinking of a higher scoring game, but I don't know. These defenses look pretty solid these past couple weeks, so I might have to drop both of both sides just to drop it down to hit the under. But I have the Ravens, but I'm uneasy about it. Only because the Browns play the Ravens very well. Everyone in this division, they play each other so tough that it's hard to clear them. They can't win both 2 times in the same year. It's always split. And I don't know, man. I'm going with the Ravens because they look so solid. I mean, Lamar is looking back to his MVP self. He's the front runner for MVP right now. He's looking real solid. But then again, the Browns defense is it could be scary. I'm changing right now of the score because at first I had 28-24. I think I'm gonna knock it down to 18-14. So there's like that's what I'm doing. If it lets me choose, can I not? Why does it not let me?
Okay, well, while you do that, I'll go and start talking about mine. This is it's weird for me. So I wasn't able to get the Power Rankings video up this week. However, I've still been keeping track of it. And to me, the Ravens are kind of, I have them as, I think, the fourth best team. Like, I think the 49ers, the Chiefs, and the Eagles are kind of the top dogs right now. Then everyone else after that, it's kind of a bit in the air. But I have them as number 4. No, I have them number 5. The Bengals number 4, excuse me. But, like, the Ravens, they're in this, like, tier 1.5, where I don't fully believe in them as a Super Bowl threat yet. But also, I feel like they're better than, like, the Lions and the Jaguars or, like, the Dolphins, like, to me, teams. So I just don't believe in have a chance to win the Super Bowl anymore this season. And so, this is definitely a game where I would not be surprised if the Ravens drop it. They are a team that is capable of doing that. But also, I mean, this defense has looked insane. This offense has consistently produced. Even games where they've looked bad, like they've still moved the ball and scored a good amount of points. But also, they had a big win against the Seahawks, big win against the Lions. Like, maybe this could be a little bit of a trap game against a tough division rival. However, I think I'm going to trust Lamar Jackson and a defense that's been really good. I'm actually going to go for a score of 23-17, and I'm going to have the Ravens winning in overtime. So they're going to be at 6, not 6.5, but I think it's going to be a really close, hard-nosed, physical, like tough game. But, I'm just going with the better offense, the better quarterback, and I think the Ravens will do enough to find a way to squeak this one out. However, if they did find a way to lose it, I mean, that would be the Baltimore Ravens for you. And the next up, we got the Atlanta Falcons versus the Arizona Cardinals. Battle of some bird teams with Kyler Murray coming back from injury. How do you think the return of Kyler Murray is going to help the Arizona Cardinals?
You know what? Why not? Give me Kyler Murray coming back on that dub, all right? I mean, I think the Cardinals need it, one. And also, when it comes down to who's going to win this Caleb Williams race, I think the Cardinals don't really need him. So they should be winning a little bit more, in my opinion. But I have not liked how Atlanta has been looking on both sides. It's hard to really pick and choose. It's more like the fact that Bijan was this huge front force that they were love to use, and then like randomly they just go, you know what? Never mind. He's sick actually. No one's like that whole confusion there kind of just took the liking the Falcons taste out of my mouth. Like liking what they were doing in their process and what they were building on, and then taking away like Ritter, putting in Heineke. Like they're moving too many pieces, and they're too confusing in my mind. The Cardinals, I think, with Kyler coming back, they might come back to that. Just their defense might get this a little extra juice just for this game, not for the rest of the season. But basically, this is their Cowboys game again, where they're going to play really well this week and then not for the rest of the year. But I think they can pull it off. I have a 24-23 game. I still think it's going to be close, but who knows?
For me, I'm actually going to go for the Falcons to still win this game. Obviously, I do think Kyler Murray coming back is going to be huge, but for the rest of the year, I think it will help him out, not necessarily for just this game. But obviously, upgrading from Clayton Tune is going to help your offense a lot. And I do agree that this defense might have a little bit more juice, more spark. You got Kyler Murray returning at home. But also, I just feel like, the Falcons still have a pretty solid defense. Their offense has been fairly consistent. I just do hope that they actually rely on Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson, even though they, for whatever reason, like to use those as decoys. They had the one drive where they got down into the red zone and they threw it to Jonnu Smith, and then did it end around to Jonnu Smith, and then try to have Jonnu Smith throw a touchdown. Like, I just want someone to smack Arthur Smith and just be like, hey, keep it simple, stupid. Let's use this great running back and great tight end we have. And so, oh no. My gut's kind of starting to bubble again. I'm going to stay with the Falcons. I'm going to stay with the Falcons. I'm going to go for a score of 20-17. I do think Taylor Heineke is going to do just enough, make some plays, and they're going to find a way to squeak this one out. I do imagine that the Cardinals might be one of the more bet-on teams this week, but I think Kyler Murray may need a week or two. But I do think Kyler Murray is kind of this tier 2 of quarterbacks who are capable of winning you games. So if he ended up stealing this one, I would not be too surprised, but I just don't think that he's going to be quite ready. I think they're going to need a week or two to fully get this offense looking good again. And the next up, we got the Detroit Lions heading to LA to go against the Chargers. And I don't think that 3-point spread is high enough for Detroit. I'm going to be honest. Detroit, one of the most physical teams in the league. Obviously, the team that can match them in the Baltimore Ravens kicks their ass. But I don't know if the Chargers are going to be able to kind of match some of that. However, the Chargers have been really heating up. But I don't know if they're going to be able to match what the energy and the physicality that Detroit's going to bring, and they're just really going to be able to grind it out. Plus, the Lions are getting back David Montgomery. When this offense has looked best, it's because they've been able to just keep consistently moving the ball and grinding out tough yardage with David Montgomery. So I think that's going to help them a lot. And overall, Justin Herbert to me has been a little bit underwhelming. And so I'm just going to go for the Lions with the coaching staff that I trust.
I completely agree. It comes down to one man. And we batter a couple of different coaches in this. And I might, hear me out. I hate Mike McCarthy. I hate Matt Canada. But I think the guy that gets the crown, he might be the new ringleader, is Brandon Staley. Because this man had Khalil Mack coverage. Sorry. I'm reliving the moment. Seeing Khalil Mack drop back in coverage? Who does this? I have no faith in the Chargers. The Chargers are going to charge. They're going to fall. They're going to slip. They're going to bump. They're going to hit every branch going down the ugly tree. Give me the Lions. I love Dan Campbell. 32-24. I think the Chargers offense can still produce a little bit, but they're not covering that spread. They ain't winning. Give me the dogs, my dogs, not the actual underdogs, but in the Lions.
You're gonna hate me.
Are you changing back to the Chargers?
The bubble guts are hitting me again.
Your gut's been bubbling the entire time, but you won't change on the other.
I changed on the Buccaneers one. Yeah, I don't know if I just need some Pepto-Bismol or what, but I don't know. It's starting to feel like a trap game to me. I don't know. Fuck it. Chargers to win. Chargers gonna win this at home. I'm gonna go 26-24.
So you have faith in Brandon Staley is what I'm hearing. When I see Khalil Mack go into coverage this game against David Montgomery, I'm going to laugh.
Hey, how many interceptions has TJ Watt got in his career?
TJ Watt's better coverage than Khalil Mack. Quote me on that.
I mean, you're not wrong, but it's not unheard of. I don't know. This Chargers team, I think, has been playing a lot better the last couple of weeks. So I think they're going to continue some momentum. I'm going to stop talking about it before I switch back to the Lions. Giants versus Cowboys. The largest spread that I have ever seen since I've started, paying more attention to this for the NFL. 17 is a spread of 17. And that is a college. That is a collegiate spread.
What did it come out as? Because I had this feeling that it was 14 and then people were hammering it. And that's why it shot up to 17. If it came out as 17, they have, I've never seen Vegas so against a man called DeVito. Because you're right. That's collegiate level. That's That's dang near like Alabama going against Tulane. Like,
Looks like it might have opened it. Looks like it says 16.5 is what it opened as.
oh my gosh. It might hit 17 and a half, 18 by Sunday.
Yeah, no. Obviously, Daniel Jones ACL said bye, and so I think what's his face? I think Tyler Taylor is still on IR and has not been cleared yet. Still no Evan Neal playing. Like this Giants offense, just a lot of stuff is going wrong. There's a whole lot of stuff going wrong for this, and the Cowboys have been rolling. You know, they had a game against the Eagles where I mean they lost it, but I mean they played well. Um, but yeah, 17-point spread. That is ridiculous. I think it said there were minus 1,200 odds, money line straight up. I do have a weird feeling that this might be just a little bit of a lower scoring game and that maybe the Giants find a way to at least cover this spread. Are the Giants in any danger of winning this game? I'm going to say no. I don't think that's a hot take, but I'm going to go for the Cowboys to win this. Just a nice, easy, convincing game. I'll say 25-7. Just finding a way to squeak it out.
See, there's two like possibilities. Is yours to where the Giants could do something, and then there's mine when I have no faith, only because the only amount of offense that I think could happen is Saquon, and the problem is the Cowboys are very good defensive wise, very good, and I mean Saquon is a monster, and I could see him getting 100 yards, but after 40 rushes, something like that happening, I have 35-6. Like either 2 field goals or a possible touchdown and miss extra point, but that 6 is going to be up there. Unless the good old Jersey boy DeVito can make some magic, but
See, maybe I'm just thinking like too much like storyline, but there's also a part of me way down deep that thinks the Giants might find a way to win this game. Like I've never put any money on it, but like there's a weird part of me that feels like the
this
Giants.
is the one time ever to put just $10 on it. Like, this is the biggest,
honestly,
biggest dog they're ever going to be. So,
but like I just feel like
do it.
I just feel like the Giants are like gonna find a way to squeak this one out, and then Tommy DeVito is forever gonna be like a Jersey legend. Like he's just never.
They're gonna retire his jersey. They're retiring.
Dude, like he's like just never gonna have to buy a beer in Jersey ever again. Like he's gonna walk in the log out and they're like, "Hey, it's Tommy," and it's, like. So I wouldn't be surprised. The Cowboys of all teams are one of the teams capable of dropping a game like this. But yeah, this is gonna be bad for Giants fans. I really hope Brian Daboll doesn't end up getting sniped. For how bad this season's been, because a lot of it's been
I hope
out
so.
of
I
his
love
control.
him. I loved him.
I think he's a great coach.
Yeah.
And so I really hope he doesn't get sniped on everything that could have gone wrong, has gone wrong type of season. But yeah, it's gonna be a bad one. And the next up, we got the Washington Commanders heading to Seattle. 6-point spread, but honestly, I think Seattle's a much better team. So I'm gonna go for Seattle to win this 29 to, let's say 26.
I have a very, very similar score. I have 28-27, but not the Seahawks.
You think Washington's going to win it?
Yeah, why not? I like
are
it
you,
only
because saying this because you have Sam Howell on fantasy football?
Possibly. No, but I do like how the Commanders' offense has been looking. I mean, yes, they gave away 2 key pieces on their defensive line. But then again, in my mind, the Seahawks are not a huge in the run game. They're more focused on that passing. I mean, yes, Kenneth Walker is a good, like a solid running back, but I haven't seen him really be a crazy, outstanding guy. You're like, oh, okay. Like I have more faith in Zach Charbonnet at this point, like what they're doing. But Seahawks last week, what scares me, I wouldn't be surprised if the Seahawks win this, especially how bad they looked last week against a good defense. They just looked terrible. Everything was just crap. So it could be like one of those things where they're expecting nothing and they can just roll over this team and the Washington could win. But who knows? In my mind, I think it's a little bit closer than the 6-point spread. I do think Seahawks are a better team, but give me the Commanders. Why not? 28-27.
Yeah, I mean the Commanders for a while were having going back and forth between being really good and really bad. It's been 2 weeks in a row now of them looking at least decent. So maybe this is a week they kind of regress. Um, but yeah, I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. Um, I do think that there is actually potential for Seattle to really beat the brakes off of Washington, just because I feel like this cornerback duo that they have is pretty solid, and they could find a way to kind of slow down this offense. But I don't know. Just I'm starting to believe in Sam Howell a little bit more, at least as a starting caliber quarterback, not necessarily like a elite. If we have Sam, we can win a Super Bowl type quarterback. But it'll be interesting for me to kind of see, how real are both of these teams. But yeah, I'm just gonna still stick with Seattle myself. And then we're gonna talk about the Sunday night football game. Ooh, voice crack. New York Jets versus the Las Vegas Raiders. This is not a very fun game. Um, Personally, for me, I'm going for the Jets to win this on the road. We see this a lot for NFL teams when they fire their coach. The next week they win a game. It's kind of like a ding dong, the witch is dead. Everybody's fired up, and then things kind of go back to how they were. Like if you're in a position where you're firing your coach, it's for a reason. I mean, there's definitely potential where they're still fired up and they have a good game against, this Jets team that hasn't been great. But I don't think Aiden O'Connell's a good quarterback. He just really isn't that good. I think they're just kind of going to get exposed a little bit more. Like they had a fun game, bought into their coach, but I don't think it's sustainable. And so I'm going for the Jets to win this on the road on Sunday Night Football. I do think it's going to be a low scoring game. I think whoever gets to 17 points first wins. And I'm going to go for the Jets to do it with a score of 17-13.
See, I didn't even realize when I put my score down that I have the exact under over. Like it's 36.5 is the line. I have the game at 36 points at 20-16 for the Jets. Zach Wilson's looked a little iffy. I mean, again, it goes back to what we talked about earlier in the year is his mind and his reads. That's always been a huge question mark. His arm talent is not the problem. It is what's up there in between the ears, whether or not he sees the other man's jersey or not. That's the only thing that's scaring me with the Jets, at least. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. Brees Hall is starting to really turn up. I mean, even if not in the run game, they don't use him in the run game. He gets utilized in the pass game. So they're going to utilize him quite well. And I do not have faith in the Raiders team, even without, with it losing that head coach. I don't have faith. It's just, I don't know. I don't like this game. Minus like a -1 line for the New York Jets. I'm not surprised, but who knows? Give me the Jets.
Yeah, I'm not really going to be excited for this game. And I mean, there still is upset potential, but it's the Raiders we're betting on. I'm not really going to necessarily rely on the Raiders. And then Monday night game seems like it's going to be another kind of crappy-ish game for the Bills in prime time, going against the Denver Broncos this week. I think the Bills are going to kind of go back to business. You're going to take care of this game. As of right now, if the season ended today, they would miss out on the playoffs. So I think they're going to win this game just because, they really need it. However, I do think it's going to be closer. I do think they might have to squeak it out, sweat it out a little bit. I'm going to go for a score of 26-20. I do think it's going to come down ultimately to kind of a game. I don't know if it's like a game-winning drive, but I do think they're going to have to make some plays towards the end. I think Josh Allen's going to stick to his hero ball, and it's going to work out this week.
I'm not going to lie to you. I had 27-20.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, give me still the Bills. The Broncos have been looking a little better. It's like small steps, nothing crazy. But they're not looking like they did at the beginning of the season where everyone's like, ooh. At the same time, like you're viewing them changes to where you're used to these bad games for the Broncos, and when they play decent, you're like, oh, okay. Like it isn't really like make a spark in your mind for you to remember, but it's nothing to where you remember like you're still seeing them being bad. So when it comes to Broncos, I see the game, like you said, a little bit closer within one score. but the Bills need this if they want to show themselves as that Super Bowl caliber team that they want to be. They got to win this game, and in my opinion, they have to win it pretty convincingly. But I don't think it's going to happen. Let's see. Give me the Bills.
Yeah, I definitely don't believe that they're a Super Bowl caliber team anymore. I don't see it. Them having to win 3 or 4 playoff games in a row. I just don't see it happening, but much better team than the Broncos, so we'll see what version of them we get. But that is going to be it for us for this video and our picks for this week. So if you stuck around, you enjoyed some of our picks, you agree with us, go ahead and drop us a like, leave us a comment down below what game we're right, what games we're wrong about. And, Sunday night when we go, 0 for 16 on our picks, come back and laugh at us and say how stupid we are. But overall, appreciate y'all for watching. Thanks a lot, guys. Peace.